Sunshine decided to join us and
Better than
everything.
Tuesday, that was cold, that was like middle of winter.
Only in Ohio, huh?
Yeah.
You go from
Oh,
snow
it's
to
just this
70
way, it's springtime.
in Ohio.
Monday was my birthday, my mom said that I was born, it rained, it snowed, the wind blew, the sun was out, and it clouded, everything.
See, I have friends in the southern states, and they say when it gets warm, it stays
Stays
warm.
warm.
I don't know what that is.
God, I seen snow when I attended Franklin back in the 70s. The 25th of April, it snowed, just a day, a cold wave went through.
We've made it into May.
That's like out west, Denver gets more snows in the fall and the spring than they do during the winter time. I guess out west is in bad shape, they haven't had much rain at all. If it don't snow or rain, they don't have water.
Yeah. You still got to figure out your mic. Because yours is the only one that stays on. I don't know why.
I don't think she's here tonight, is she? I think she said she's gonna be off tonight.
Yep. How are you tonight? Good. How are you?
Yeah, what did she say? Was it one of the musical things? Was it one of the musical things that she was heading to?
I don't, is that tonight?
It's one of
I
those
don't know,
things.
I was thinking, I don't know.
I do know she said something. So. All right. I hope we all have our notes. Just for example, for now, everybody, I don't plan to go through all of the tabs. Just a few.
Well, did you get a copy of the?
Call the meeting to order. If everyone could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent reflection, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk, could we have roll call, please?
Councilman Eads?
Here.
Sorry. Councilwoman Jackman?
Here.
Councilman Hayes?
Present.
President Peters?
Here.
Councilman Hitt?
Here.
Councilwoman Trainer? Councilman Boyd?
Here.
Councilman Stahl?
Present.
Did everybody get a chance to take a look at the minutes from March 5th? Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. We do have a public hearing tonight on ordinance 106-26. So could I get a motion to exit regular meeting and enter into public hearing, please?
Motion to exit regular meeting and enter into public meeting.
So moved. Second.
Okay, like I stated, this is for ordinance 106-26. Do we have anybody in the audience that has any discussion on this?
I believe Mr. Paul should step up here. This is his property.
Talking about Sudeep, Paul? Sudeep?
Yes, Mr. Paul, Sudeep Paul.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I have an ordinance vacating an alley on West High Street. There is a track number between, my only neighbor is Midland Title, and they're the ones who helped me to write it. Kevin Flax, Aaron Miller.
I can't hear him.
I haven't had any other citizen concerns reach out about this. It seems like everything was good to go. There was a little concern at first with the other alley running off of Madison Road there, but that one is not affected by this at all. And so everything seemed cleared up and looked good to go.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Paul, the alley that you're asking for us to vacate only runs the length of the property, because there's another alley behind that property, correct?
Yes.
And that's not going to be shut off in any way, it's
No.
just this part,
Yes.
all right? This has nothing to do with the vacation of the alley, but When was the last time you drive by and looked at the house before today?
Oh, I go there like every couple of months at least because I was waiting for some permits and stuff, about to start the work.
Okay, I mean, obviously, it looks pretty bad now after the windstorm last week, but it had been missing siding for quite a while.
Yes, it is.
But I do want to commend you for putting a roof on it last fall, I think.
Yes, then I was trying to do some changes structurally, so I had to go through the whole building plan, permit submissions and stuff, all those things. So I just got the approvals a few weeks ago. So now it's good to go, working through all the plumbing permits and everything else.
And just so everybody knows, what are you going to do with the property? What did you need permits for?
So I'm just redoing everything, from the plumbing to the electricals, putting new furnaces, new drywall. I already put roof, you already saw that. New siding. So the permits are for three things. Basically the electricals, the HVAC piece, and the plumbing.
And you and I spoke last fall. Were you also still going to put studio apartments on that in the
Yeah,
back?
that got approved, yes.
So it'll go from 2 to 4?
2 to 4 units, yeah. 2 efficiencies on the back, yeah.
All right, well, that's already been approved by the zoning, planning and zoning, I believe,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes.
My question with all of that then would be, is parking a concern then with taking this alley away? Or is parking a concern at all for that location?
We have enough space on the back and some vegetations, we have to just cut it off.
Okay.
So we'll have enough parking there. That's already approved.
I know street parking is already getting a little tied up, so
Yeah.
anything you can
Especially
offer
in
is-
winter, you know.
Oh, yeah.
snowstorm, all those cleaning, shoveling.
Okay.
President Peters, for the record, I wanted to let you know that I spoke to Sydney Bell with Realty Income, who owns Taco Bell Building. Today, she had some questions how this would impact their business, and I told her it wouldn't. It was across the street that we had to notify her. So they've been made aware, and I gave them instructions to watch it live if they wanted to. But for the record, I just want to let you know that we had that conversation earlier.
All right, thank you. Okay, with no other discussion, can I get a motion to exit the public hearing and enter back into regular meeting?
Motion to exit public hearing, enter back into regular council session.
Second.
Councilwoman Jackman,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Boyd,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have no communications or announcements. Audience concerns, we do have one. RJ Timmons, if you could come up, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name's RJ Timmons. I live on 74 Laurel Street. And I've lived here about 10 years now, and London has looked a lot better from when I first moved here. I was talking to the gentleman there on the end, and I was telling him there were more pigeons than there were people downtown when I moved here. The buildings look 50 times better. You got windows where they were boarded up. Ugh. But the downtown looks really good. The streets look good. London's really growing too. They're getting houses everywhere. And I'm just glad I live here, because every time I've had a complaint about trash or whatever, the people that work for the town, they come right out. I don't have any complaints. You know, everybody makes mistakes. They forget something here or there or another, but the town's been great. They come right out, more than glad to help and talk to you, you know. Small town, that's why I like to live here. I did want to, say that, because It's true. I work for a small town, so I kind of know how things work a little bit about a town, budgets and things. And what I'm here for tonight is I live on Laurel Street. It's just kind of back in, well, about 3 blocks that way towards the new Ron Eddie's they're putting in over here. It's kind of behind it in a way. And then it runs over to Washington Avenue, I think Washington Street or Washington Avenue. Well, in front of my house, the guys come out every year and they do a great job patching. I mean, that's all they can do. And I get you can only do so much every year, budget-wise with money. And I read in the Mass Messenger where, the 4th Street, they're going to redo 4th Street this year, I think, here in London. And what I'm asking is, down the road or sometime, can you think about Laurel Street? Because the reason I say that, they patched it every year I live there, and there's patch on patch on patch. And I know it costs money and time, but I get it takes time. I don't want it tomorrow. And I was telling that gentleman there too that, like about once a month in the summertime, I literally have to take my lawnmower out and mow my street. There's grass that comes up out of the street that much. I have grass growing in my street. And that's all I ask is maybe one day, if you could put me on the books for Laurel Street to get that maybe repaid one day. And thank you for letting me speak. And have a good evening.
Thank you.
State next year.
Go Bucks. On to committee reports. Greg?
Well, I'm not going to be the right person to give the Finance Committee report as I was not there, so we're going to see if Ms. Jackman can fill us in. I know you don't have the notes, and Ms. Trainer does. We may have to do this next month. Also, Mr. Timmons, the right person to talk to, is right back there, Mr. Long, the street superintendent. So he's heard what you had to say. You might have a talk with him later.
Okay, thank you. I think you heard me. I appreciate it. No, thank you. I'm at your mercy.
Lisa?
I attended the Public Service Committee meeting, and I'll talk about that one first. I just have the street department report. As usual, they were very busy doing quite a few things. We did have some guests at our committee meeting from Strouser, and they did explain quite a bit about their methods for surface patching, the different ways that they can do that, how they determine which streets to do this year, depending on what our budget is. They did have a lot of information, and I know they've got a plan. Laurel Street might be on the plan this year. I don't know that. I'm not sure they've got that figured out yet. But I think we all felt pretty confident with what Strouser had said that they do and why they do things and how they try to keep us getting the most bang for our buck, money-wise, as far as do we want to put new streets in, and there's different levels of patching, I guess, that we can do to try to help maintain what we have. And then I also was at the Finance Committee meeting, where I do not have minutes. It was a very busy meeting, and there were quite a few things that we'll be talking over today. So I don't know if I really need to go over them, since most of them are ordinances or resolutions.
Right, I watched the video, finished it up today, but most of the new business items came out of finance, so they will come up later tonight, and we might have some further information on each one of those as we go.
Yes.
Thank you. Rich?
We held a safety meeting March 10th. We started a little bit late due to the public service meeting going so long. Minutes of the February the 10th meeting were approved. Chief Nickel was with us. He gave his police report. Mr. Stahl will give that report momentarily. Chief Eads gave the fire and EMS report. Mr. Hitt will give that report momentarily. Safety Service Director, he had nothing. We had no old business. We had no new business. Side note, Mr. Boyd had a question in reference to housing and parking permits for downtown and the enforcement of such. I believe Chief Nickel responded to that question. And we adjourned at 6:41, very short meeting. Next meeting is April 14th at 6 PM, conference room next door. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
I attended the Public Safety Committee meeting. I'll give the fire chief's report. As far as EMS training, they had training on do not resuscitate interpretation. Fire training, they went over rural water movement and pre-incident planning of the courthouse and new part-timer orientation. They hosted several students for ride time for tolls and grant paramedics class, and they attended Davis Road Farm incident debriefing, the fire out there on Davis Road. As far as runs, last year at this time, they had 524 runs, which was 7.6 per day, and this year they had 496 runs, which is 7.2 per day. And then I also attended the service committee meeting. And as Ms. Jackman said, we had Strasser Company there to go over kind of the reasoning of what roads should be done and the materials that are used for chip and sealing and that versus mill and fill. So they went over that pretty extensively, and then we had several questions about that, so that took up quite a bit of the time. We did have someone come in, Jenny Davis, asking about funding for warming centers or homeless shelters. Most of the other stuff, I believe, will be coming up in legislation later on. And the next service committee meeting is the 14th at 5 o'clock in the meeting room next door.
Thank you. Tommy?
Got to go to the Public Service Committee, and I'll give the Parks and Recreation. Spring volleyball had 184 participants, 20 teams. Practices began last week. Games will begin at the end of the month and be finished at the end of April. Still looking to hire on lifeguards this year. Pickleball, we got some grants applied for with AARP for getting some shades for out there for when we get that made. Parking lot expansion, we looked into that one. Hobby hour is coming up April 4th, 5:30 to 7:30 at 7 p.m. And movie day had come and has now gone. So seemed like it went well for everybody else there. With being at the public service one, yeah, we got to go into a lot of the street detail, which was really good, going into, hey, what is to the point where we want to do this, and where is it that we need to pretty much be redoing the entire street top there. And just looking at Laurel, it would be within that failed category that we're going to need to look into, hey, setting aside funds instead of just doing all of these chip and sealing kind of fiber mat projects, actually getting some of our failed roads completely redone and up to date. But that's all.
Thank you. John?
I attended the Service and the Finance Committee, and my reports on the Public Safety Committee briefing from the police. Building construction is progressing with drywall installation currently, with more foundation found during the installation of the underground water detention system. The current schedule for completion is early July. Brandon Church, David Trevelio, Camilla Edley were all hired as officers and slated to start basic training next week at Clark State College. There's still currently one open position, and they have 3 officers on restricted duty or leave status. We're accepting lateral entry officers. We will be seeking to create a new eligibility list for the next civil service meeting. The new cruiser is in the process of being upfitted and should be available for use soon. Chief Nichols says he will be retiring in July of this year. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. On to city official reports. Kennedy, do you have anything? Chief? Bill? Okay. On to old business, up for fourth reading, ordinance 106-26. Could I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Ordinance 106-26, sponsored by Tom Boyd, an ordinance vacating an alley.
This would be what we just had the public hearing for, and I'd say everything's good if anyone else has any questions.
Okay, with no further discussion, what are council's wishes?
I'll make a motion to pass it.
Second.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Boyd,
Yes.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl.
Yes.
Ordinance 106-26 has passed. Now on to third reading, resolution 107-26. Could I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 107-26, sponsored by Lisa Jackman, a resolution increasing appropriations.
This is just so the street department can purchase a dump truck. It would be utilizing $275,000 from the capital fund.
I did want to bring this up to chat about, since we were hoping to talk about this one at public service also. Is the truck in dismal repair, or is there any large issues with it right now? Would it be worth kind of pushing it through it all right now? My thought is kind of with the fixes we were going to make to the sanitation department, you know, that's some funds also we were looking into there for getting that thing fixed up a little bit. But this one, it was just kind of seeing what is the primary work that we're using this guy for? All right, and so just kind of checking the P's and Q's because, yeah, it was interesting to see that lots of these holes that are around right now with the gravel, I should be directing towards Mid-Ohio more rather than us actually. And so that is kind of covered by them. The other large projects by Strausser being covered and being done by them is just kind of seeing, hey, what our actual use is right now on it. But looks good for me.
Any other discussion? What are council's wishes?
I'd like to move to accept.
No second.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes.
Councilman Boyd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman.
Yes.
Resolution 107-26 has passed. On to resolution 115-26. Could I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 115-26, sponsored by Greg Eads, a resolution to transfer remaining balances from Fund 235 to the general fund.
So as we've discussed in the past, we'll bring it up today for the record. This fund holds money from the COPS Fast grant, which concluded in 2014. So this $1,464.98 has been sitting there unused now for 12 years. And if we don't make this action, it's going to sit there for another 12 years or longer. So there's a number of funds that we have to discuss. This is the first one. We have clearance from our law director to go ahead and do this. And this $1,464.98 will be transferred to the general fund. There's other, I think there was 4 other accounts, if I recall correctly, that equaled almost $180,000 that we have to go through a different process, but we're going to start with this one. So this is, I believe, the 3rd reading for this.
Any other discussion?
Second.
What are council's wishes?
I'll move to adopt.
Second.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes.
Councilman Boyd,
Yes.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman.
Yes.
Resolution 115-26 has passed. On to Resolution 116-26. Can I get a motion to read by title and number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 116-26, sponsored by Greg Eads, a resolution to adjust the city's capital assessment threshold from $5,000 to $10,000.
Okay, once again, this is the 3rd reading, so we have discussed this, but once again, this is a bookkeeping function that we're looking at by raising the threshold from $5,000 to $10,000. We're not going to have to list every asset that has virtually no value to it on our list. If it's under $10,000, it no longer has to be added to our list of assets. However, $10,000 and greater still has to be listed on our assets. Is that correct?
Correct.
Ms. Auditor? Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add to this?
Nope, just, as I've shared with you guys before, in order to meet this threshold and qualify to raise that threshold of capital assets, the city had to meet 80% of the current assets had to be more than $10,000, and we're at 97%.
Any other discussion?
I move to adopt.
Second.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman,
Yes.
Councilman Boyd,
Yes.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt.
Yes.
Resolution 116-26 has passed. On to ordinance 118-26. Can I get a motion to read by title and number?
So moved.
Second.
Ordinance 118-26, sponsored by Greg Eads, an ordinance for strengths on job descriptions.
Okay, again, 3rd reading for this. The biggest reason for this change is that we no longer have dispatchers employed at our police department since our dispatching services are now done by the sheriff's department. We still have people listed or jobs listed for dispatchers, which we don't have anymore. So, and this was the only positions that we're going to eliminate at this point. So we'll have to do this again later, I believe, but right now, this is just so we can remove the dispatchers from the strength ordinance.
Any other discussion? What are council's wishes?
Make a
I'll make a
motion. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to adopt 118-26.
Second.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman,
Yes.
Councilman Boyd,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 118-26 is passed. On to new business. Resolution 120-26. Can I get a motion to read by title and number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 120-6, sponsored by Lisa Jackman, a resolution increasing appropriation.
The police department received a donation from the American Legion for $1,500, and this is just to, I guess, accept that, put that in the,
Yeah, we received it on February 24th, and in order for the police department or Glenn to be able to spend the money, we have to increase appropriations to allow for that expenditure.
Any discussion? Just want to leave this on?
I make a motion to go ahead and bypass 3 reading rule on it. They can use the money more than just sitting there.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Jackman,
yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Eads,
Yes?
Councilman Boyd,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Councilman Boyd,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman.
Yes.
Resolution 120-26 has passed. On to Resolution 121-26. Could I get a motion to read by title and number?
So moved. Second.
Resolution 121-26, sponsored by Lisa Jackman, a resolution increasing appropriations.
This is to cover some of the storm sewer project that's still ongoing in the third ward, and it would be to increase appropriations by $300,000 to finish covering the rest of the work that's being done there. And this one also is on an emergency.
I ask that Mr. Long come up with microphone so we can get some further information.
Yes, please.
Does the legislation read it's just for the third ward stormwater? Or is it just projects for stormwater? Because I don't think,
Storm.
okay, so it's not specific to third ward, because I don't think this is what we need for that. I think there's other things that Bill may need to do throughout the year. I just want to make sure we weren't tied to just that project.
Thank you, Mr. Long. So I was watching the video. I know that they discussed that there was some money that was going to be needed for that, but there was going to be additional funding put in here for a couple other projects I think you intended to work on this year. Can you fill us in a little bit more, please?
It's on.
All right, Olive Street, we got a storm sewer over there we need to replace. There's a couple other projects, and it'll just be money there. It can't be spent on anything but storm sewer. So there'll be some catch basin repairs done throughout the city also. That money covers that.
Right, so we had 1.5 or 1.6 or something like million in there. Maybe it was 1.7 now. So you're appropriating 300,000. And how much of the project needs to be done from before?
Well, we'll have to start paying the loan out of there.
There's 1.5 in there right now, or at the end of it.
So we'll start paying the loan back, and then we need to complete the blacktopping down there. So I don't know what the cost on that's gonna be yet.
Okay. And then while you're here, I was going to bring this up, but you're in the back, and you're talking about the blacktopping. I mean, I know this is very specific to storm sewers, but then we have lots of holes in the roads within the city that we may not have caused, that have been there for months now. Can we put pressure on Mid-Ohio to get those paved?
So we actually had a meeting with Mid-Ohio a week ago. The plants aren't opened up yet is the issue. So they should be opening in April, and they will be they've already contracted with their contractor to do the job. They're just gonna wait till hot mixes out to fix it instead of cold patching it, tearing it back out. And that's their plan right now.
Okay, I appreciate that. I've had a lot of people ask me about the holes throughout different parts of the city and when they're going to be repaired.
Yeah, we met, I think it was last week I met with them about it.
All right, that's the questions I had. Thank you.
If anything, maybe Fourth and Walnut here, I know that there's a large amount of gravel going down Fourth that's getting a little built up if,
It's where it's kicking out of the hole there.
yep.
Until it gets paved, it's gonna continue.
And so the projects that you are having done over at Olive Street, is that where we're relining the entire sewer with the storm sewer with that new item that goes through the pipe?
No, it'll be a tear out, and new piping put in.
Everything pulled out and going right back in, okay. Do we feel that with the Lafayette project coming up, Is that maybe an area that we want to look into having someone survey to save you the time? That way, that's projects out of the way and completely kind of focused on and ready for being done when it is later this year?
Well, I've got to get with Glenn, because we got to have traffic control out there. It's going to be an all-day project. 'Cause we're going to
Oh,
take out
yeah.
about 4 feet of blacktop, reset the catch basin, and then concrete everything back in and stuff.
And if you could do it in a day, that'd be amazing, but, I mean, yeah, probably a
Well,
day or
that's
two
our-
for getting
That's
that
our
going.
plans unless something happens.
All right, and so, yeah, just making sure everything's covered, that way, when we get that guy fellow, we're not finding too many surprises. Thank you much.
Any other discussion? Okay, on to Resolution 122
Sir.
There's a.
There is an emergency clause. I move that we suspend the 3 reading rule for this piece of legislation.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Jackman,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Boyd.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman,
Yes.
Councilman Boyd.
Yes.
Resolution 121-26 is passed. On to Resolution 122-26. Can I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 122-26, sponsored by Lisa Jackman, a resolution increasing appropriations.
We have the expert here that can give details on this, but this is to use some money that is in a fund. I believe it was $23,281.90 that will allow him to purchase some equipment out of that fund. There is an emergency on this one as well. Chief Nickel, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, this is the Law Enforcement Trust Fund where we just gather funds that are generated basically by our business, not from the general fund monies that we acquire every year. So it'd be like certain sales of confiscated property or seized property, cash that was seized, anything related to our law enforcement work. And we're required by law to spend it on law enforcement equipment or related items. And also it's not to supplant the budget, but just to help out with other things like that. So you can't say, okay, next year I want to take 20,000 off the budget and put this money in there. It's not allowable by law. So what we'd use it for is if something came up during the year that we didn't plan on, you know, we lose a taser's broken or something like that, computers that we may need, some items may come up with the new building that we may not have planned for or show a need for, so something like that.
Any further discussion? Or council's wishes?
Make a motion to bypass the 3 reading rule on it.
Second.
Councilwoman Jackman,
Yes.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes.
Councilman Boyd,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Councilman Stahl,
Yes.
Councilman Hitt,
Yes.
Councilman Eads,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman,
Yes.
Councilman Hayes,
Yes.
Councilman Boyd.
Yes.
Resolution 122-26 is passed. On to Resolution 123-26. Can I get a motion to read by title and number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 123-26, sponsored by Lisa Jackman, a resolution increasing appropriations.
This one is to allow the police department to purchase furniture for the new building, and the amount was $27,500. And again, Chief Nickel may have something to add to that. And there is an emergency on this one too, I believe.
So this is an additional amount that was originally budgeted about. It's changed over the years. I think its last official budget was $45,000 for new furniture with the anticipation that we would move some old stuff from the old building in. It's kind of come to everybody's attention that it would be better that if we could afford a little bit more money up front, we would have new furniture that it would all match and then the building would look like a new building. So with this funding, with the emergency part is the contract that we have with the purchase of the equipment, the furniture is on state bid pricing, so it's the best pricing for state bid. And that expires the end of March of this year. So if we can get that guaranteed and ordered, approved before the end of March, we'll be locked into that price. Obviously, I doubt that the price would go down after March. I would assume it's going to go up. So that's the reason for the emergency. And the budgeting throughout the building, it was just reduced in various ways to try and save some money. And this budget was short. We did take money from other parts of the budget to reduce that, and we've reviewed the furniture plan 3 or 4 times and knocked it down to where this is the bare minimum if we wanted to outfit the building.
Any other discussion?
I'll just say I agree with, $12 million building we're building. Let's put a little extra. I'm already sad. It sounds like 20,000 more we've cut off kind of what your last plans were for this thing. And we should give the full 50 just to, really make it pop out there. But I think this is good to make it look as nice as it is.
So I was reviewing the video. It seemed like there was a long discussion back and forth about this and how there may be some money that's left over later, but you can't count on that yet. And it sounded, as I listened to you explain how the number started here, then it went to here, then it came back to here, and it's been a moving target.
It has.
So, it sounded like you've done your due diligence, and the people in the room, which was almost everyone except me, the people in the room seem to all agree that it would be best to give you new equipment now for a new building, and hopefully it lasts a long time and you don't have to come back and get money later for that.
Right, and then if there's money left over, obviously that'll come back to you from different areas, but we need the budget to show that there's money there to make this purchase now. And we've moved money around. We had there's actually a washer and dryer that was donated to save us about $1,200 there, and so we've really moved money around and tried to get as much as we can. But it would be good for the city, I think, to have a new building with modern matching furniture.
And did I understand correctly that this being a soft cost could not be part of the loan from before, so this is a cost that we were going to have to assume anyway?
Correct. The bond money cannot be used for furniture or fixtures because they're not guaranteed the lifespan of the loan or the bond money. So we're limited on what those funds be used for.
Rural development.
All right, thank
So
you.
the funding that rural development, that grant, that can be spent, that's part of it. That's, the soft costs are covered in that.
Correct.
Any other discussion? What are council's wishes?
I'll move to suspend the 3 reading rule and for resolution, where did we go? 123-26.
I heard
Second.
Resolution 123-26, sponsored by Lisa Jack.
Roll call, please.
Roll call. Sorry, I got wrapped up into everything. Councilwoman Jackman.
Yes.
Councilman Eads.
Yes.
Councilman Hayes.
Yes.
Councilman Stahl.
Yes.
Councilman Boyd.
Yes.
Councilman Hitt.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Councilman Hayes.
Yes.
Councilman Stahl.
Yes.
Councilman Boyd.
Yes.
Councilman Eads.
Yes.
Councilman Hitt.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman.
Yes.
Resolution 123-26 is passed. On to Resolution 124-26. Can I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 124-26, sponsored by Tom Boyd, a resolution authorizing the auditor to increase appropriations and transfer funds.
Well, this was going over, it's 39 new handicap ramps that we should be able to get in. This is going with the 42 project that is coming through, and the city would be liable for covering to go along with that project. If I didn't say it, 100,000.
Any other discussion? What are council's wishes?
There's an emergency on it. Make a motion to bypass the 3 reading rule?
Second.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Boyd?
Yes.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes. Move to adopt.
Second.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
Councilman Boyd?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman?
Yes.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Resolution 124-26 is passed. On to Resolution 125-26. Can I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 125-26, sponsored by Lisa Jackman, a resolution adopting the recommendations of the Tax Incentive Review Council.
This one is about the Turk money and the CRA money. I guess the Tax Incentive Review, they had met, and I don't know, you're going to have to help me out here, Kenna. Everybody that's participating in this met or exceeded what they were supposed to be doing. There is an emergency on this because the county has to file with the state by the end of the month.
Correct. We met on March 10th with the county and the economic developers. Well, they have to fill out their annual reporting, and they all met or exceeded their promise for each of the developments. So we voted to continue, and we hope that you do the same.
So when we're looking at the second page of this, it lists Elite, FTS, Independence Way, and the Main Street Collective, and those are the only 3 that we're collecting on now on CRAs.
Correct.
And we're not extending these by 10 years, or 15 years. These were their original term.
Correct.
Was 10 years, and they're still within the 10 years. So they have to meet those qualifications every year in order to keep this going. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then with the TIF that was formed for Johnson's Creek, we haven't started to collect on that. But the NCA, so do we know, does an NCA get considered in this at all down the road?
I do not know that. I know the intent, once we start seeing money, or once the county starts getting money from the NCA, to work closely with the NCA attorneys or the TIF attorneys and have them advise on how it's all split up and where the money goes and all that. I know it's a work in progress because it's a very large NCA project. And it's new to us, so. we know
Right.
it's
We
coming.
should actually get some money because they sold a few houses before the end of the year.
Yeah.
It won't be very
But
much.
it's collected in the rear, so I don't anticipate money till at least 27.
Okay.
Any other discussion? What are council's wishes?
Make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule?
Second.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Boyd?
Yes.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman?
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
Councilman Boyd?
Yes.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman?
Yes.
Resolution 125-26 is passed. On to Resolution 126-26. Can I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 126-26, sponsored by Andrew Hitt, a resolution approving the comprehensive plan.
So this is the plan for the City of London for the next 5 to 10 years. It's pretty interesting, the stuff that's in there and kind of the plans for London coming forward. There was a couple of corrections on page 9. A sentence ended, uncompleted, and the addition to that is to drive meaningful change and align with the city's long-term vision. And then on page 24 and 107, Roberts Pass was referred to Roberts Pass Trail, and that language was corrected as Roberts Pass. This did go to the Planning Commission this past Thursday, and they approved it with those corrections. A lot of it focused on, was very comprehensive, housing, recreation, parks, streets repair, bike routes. It's like 250 pages long. It's pretty interesting as far as what's planned coming forward from London.
So since this came to public service as kind of the main place we were going to be chatting about it and ran out of time, we really didn't have any. I'm guessing this is where we'll be able to bring up any changes we might like to be made. Does anybody else see any that you might want to bring up or anything else? Or I'll just get started if okay. Because my first one comes down to the table of contents. Here you have plan overview, page 6, community context, 12, community engagement, 50, plan framework, 72, and then implementation, 140. So when it comes down to actually looking something up, it's not very efficient when it comes down to, hey, I want to see the corridors. Do you know what page that is offhand? It's page 110, because I've written down all the page numbers in my table of contents. And so I think that's just a good one that we should add in there possibly. You know, it's not going to be too crazy, but might be something to add on at least to make it a little easier to view. All right. Anybody have their digital copies on up and ready? Page 69. That's where I'm going to start off at. Infrastructure. And so that was the biggest one brought up. Infrastructure consistently emerged as a top priority. And so that's a big one where I've brought up the looking into a storm sewer survey to begin to address this issue, and we still aren't having any interest in actually pursuing that yet. And I'd like to actually see us, hey, start focusing on some of these things, such as one of the biggest things is being brought up is that our infrastructure with our storm sewer would like to be getting checked out. I'm glad to hear, though, that we have some projects already in process for addressing this issue. Another big one was being able to make connectivity, trails, and walkability. I think that's one that we are continued to be asked what council would like to do. I think that's tough if we don't have any type of plans or ideas in front of us. We haven't really heard anything yet brought to council about having sidewalks fixed in the city. And so maybe that's one that, you know, hey, if we're gonna have it in here again, we can start having some ideas brought to us. Otherwise, it's a little difficult for us to fund something that we're trying to create the idea for. Otherwise, we could just give out tons and tons of money. I'll skip, because you guys see, like I said, I have way too many. These are a couple of the little ones. My biggest one that I have to say I would like to see amended would be on page 88 with the commercial corridor. And so this guy, it's just reading through it, the first thing that kind of pops up, height, 2 to 6 stories. For this being something planned along Lafayette there, going out of town, across from Walmart, all those areas, it could easily be something that is good for London. I'll tell you, out of all the buildings and stuff I saw in here, this is probably the most profitable one there is. However, I don't feel having something the size of our courthouse going down along Lafayette Street is something that really matches what we live in London for. And so, I mean, maybe not completely delete it, but, you know, at least when we renew this thing or look back at it in 5-10 years, then, hey, we can maybe start to consider that idea. But otherwise, possibly looking into making that height 2 to 3 stories. But having that in there, like I've been saying, you're right, it doesn't change any ordinances. However, it does give a contractor the ability to come in and say that they are working off of something based within the comprehensive plan to gain an ordinance, or a variance, to actually have that changed to allow 6 stories. And so that's a big one that I kind of like to look into and make sure we can have a good, strong handle on. Other than that, we'll come back to it more maybe next time.
Yeah, Tommy, like you, since this is just a comprehensive plan, like you mentioned, if somebody would come in and try to do a 5-6 story, that'd have to go through council for a variance.
And I mean, it's just, once again, though, giving them that kind of a strong backing with how important of a document this is actually going to be for the city. You know, having this in here gives them pretty good footing for saying, hey, this is something I would like to ask for. Which, hey, we might not be the same ones here in 2 years when we're seeing this asked for. And so making sure that they have that same kind of understanding, not, oh, well, you're right, it's in the comprehensive plan there, so sure, let's give the variance away.
Right, I mean, yeah, that comprehensive plan could just say 1 story, and then a developer come in and say, hey, I want to put a 6 story, they still have to go through.
And if this
Right.
said, hey, 2 to 3 maybe, but you're right, it's tough to say that that's the idea without.
Mr. President,
Yes.
a couple things come to mind with your discussion, Mr. Boyd. One is, why would we need a 6-story building? There's been discussion that they're at least looking to get a hotel in London, right? And maybe that's where that comes into play, but of course, again, that would have to be passed by the Building and Zoning, or through the Planning Commission. So I think that's a valid point, that we don't want to just throw that open, but I think there's some checks and balances here. I guess my couple of points I want to make is, you know, can we amend this document? Because it is our document. I think we have the right to amend it. Now, whether or not OHM's willing to make those amendments and send us the final copy, or, you know, in writing that, but I think that we have that option, because, you know, this is a working copy. It may be the final copy, but, you know, this is why it's not printed out. We should each have a printed copy of the final copy without a doubt. It should also be available, you know, at the library and other places that people can look at it if they want to. But I didn't pick up on this the other night when I was watching the video, which, because you really didn't discuss it in finance, and I didn't watch the other videos. Are we expecting OHM to come give council a presentation on this, or did they just throw a document at us and say, here you go? Because for $80,000 plus, I think we deserve them to come here, give a presentation, talk about their findings, what they found, and I'd like to have that discussion about, so what you see here compared to what you see in other places, because this is a comprehensive plan for London, but it's also trying to figure in the next however many years that is, and how we are going to get from point A to point B. I know part of it, and I haven't made it all the way through it yet, but what part of that initially was that they were going to set kind of a blueprint that council would need to adopt and try to follow along. So maybe in year 1 we do this, and by year 3 you're changing to this, and year 5 you're doing this, because they kind of set that out, and that's why we pay them to do this.
I was thinking that was the matrix that's at the end of the report there, that actually kind of gives that somewhat of a time span. But I agree that I would like to kind of have something at least saying, hey, what's our beginning goals? You know, items like that to maybe bring things forward. I had brought to planning committee kind of, hey, who's actually going to bring ideas to council, and seeing if it was going to go through them, and they said no. So that was another one of the concerns there, was who's going to actually be addressing the ideas in here and bring them to council for the funding. But things to look into.
I guess one of the things I neglected to say that we talked about in service committee meeting was the desire to have a community center and try to start moving on that. So we did talk about bringing to finance on the agenda in the next meeting, possibility, or what kind of funds could be available for something like that.
And that one kind of interested me because within the rubric, within the back of this, it says that's an item that would be discussed in a 3 to 5 year plan or 4 to 7 years. And so for us discussing that now and jumping ahead of the other plans that are in this document, that part kind of caught me off that, hey, if we jumped right to that. Because the main thing that it says to look into first is that making sure we have equal amenities at both of our parks and kind of just assessing the entire Parks and Recreation and then down the road. And so that was, once again, kind of, hey, how do we want to be presenting things? Kind of what's our route going to be? Because if this says one thing and then we're just doing different things, it doesn't show much of a plan.
A couple points I'd like to make. And I'm not trying to get ahead of the mayor, but it seems like somewhere back in my mind that there was supposed to be a commission that was supposed to work on this. I can't remember, it was brought up, but there was supposed to be either a 3 or 5 member commission that was supposed to work with this. And the other point is, there is a hotel that has talked to a developer about coming in, and I'm sure it's going to be at least 3 or 4 story building. And so, I have to go to planning and zoning and everything, but just so everybody's aware, these things are going to come, and so that's all I got.
Rich, there was a committee, in that report they have the list, I think Lisa was on that committee as well, like helped out with this, so. Yeah, steering committee. And like what Greg has mentioned, I would think that they would come and present that here at the end, especially with the money we spent for this.
Right, but we don't know if that's planned at this point yet.
I haven't heard anything, but I'm sure we can recommend that.
And it seems like the steering committee would probably be finished up by now. Is that correct? Because they won't really have anything else to do with this from here. And so that's where at the planning committee, I asked, hey, how about a comprehensive committee that, yes, would be staying with this? Because while our seats are not consistent throughout years to come, it would be nice to have a group that is specifically focused on this document and helping push forward and kind of keep things on track for what our time expectation is. And so they said they weren't quite sure of what a comprehensive committee was or kind of how that would work with this, but I hope that's something we can look into having added.
They are cutting part of that woods down. They're going to extend Eagleton Boulevard over that way.
Okay, any further discussion on the comprehensive plan tonight? I would
signage.
recommend, keep going through it, and then next meeting, bring more of your ideas or concerns.
Chapter 2.
So, on to ordinance 127-26. Can I get a motion to read by title and number?
So moved.
Second.
Ordinance 127-26, sponsored by Shannon Trainer, an ordinance amending Section 289 of the Codified Ordinances.
Right, so she's not here, but I'm pretty familiar with this, and I did watch the video, so I'll take this one, Lisa. So, many years ago, there was a discussion on people that had second jobs or businesses out of their home, and they weren't paying any income tax. So the Cleveland tax authorities, who we ended up using, and they found people that weren't paying that, and they collected, and said the first $50,000 was supposed to go into this fund. Now, I remember back then that The former mayor thought that there was going to be about 30,000 in that fund. It turns out that it was only about 16,750, right about there. May have been a little bit more. They may have spent a little bit out of that, but I think that was pretty much it. But when that got passed, there was no way to spend the money. There was no guiding document on what to do, and that sat there for a number of years before they did come up with something. As far as I know, there's never been a penny spent out of this fund. And it could have been a reimbursement. That's how it was supposed to be, was a reimbursement. If someone put maybe an awning on their building, they could come back and ask for reimbursement. So that never really happened. So when you look at this, this is Shannon Trainor's project that she's been working on for a couple years, and had Jennifer Hitt look at this a couple years. I think she said it was 2022 initially that she had her look at it. And the funds aren't being used. Could they be used? Could they be used by somebody else? Could they be used by the Historic Downtown Revitalization Committee? So there's a list of duties that the Historic Downtown Revitalization Committee has that we don't help fund. We don't give them any money to do those things. So what they're asking for is a change so that they could use this money for their duties that they have. And then the process would be that they can ask for it. It has to go to finance, and it has to be approved by this council for them to spend the money. But I know specifically right now, what they're talking about is repainting all of the light poles, fixtures downtown, and they want to sandblast all of those and paint those. They need to rent equipment to do that. And so they were going to ask for that. So this is what they're talking about right now, but they may have other projects in the long run. So this is what was discussed over the years, and then I did listen, and I think I pretty much got that right. And then Kenna, you were there too. Was there any further additions to that?
Nope, I think you covered it all.
Any other discussion? Is this something we want to keep on? Or what are council's wishes? Okay, on to Resolution 128-26. Can I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 128-26, sponsored by Andrew Hitt, a resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into contract for trash pickup and related services.
So about a month ago, we passed legislation to allow the Safety Service Director to get bids for privatization of the sanitation service. And so this would allow him to enter into contract with one of those bidding sources.
Has this even been put out to bid yet?
He said he was working on it this past Friday, or going to start process.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I know timing is an issue by the time you have to advertise for bid, I believe, for at least 2 weeks. We have to notify employees 60 days. So the timing of if we would do those things and then bring forward to you guys after bids are opened to enter into contract, we'd be behind the 8 ball to notify employees timely before allowing to enter into contract. So this would allow the SSD permission to enter into contract, permitting we get good bids and follow the procedures and think it's the best option for the city to move forward.
How will that affect current employees and kind of our duties of needing to give them the 60 days? Does that change that?
No, we still have to give them 60 days regardless. We're bound by contract to do that.
That's from the date of the acceptance of a bid, right? Correct?
That's 60 days before we decide to term their employment. So whenever the contract is entered into and the day that whichever company may win the bid would start trash collection.
Any other discussion? What are council's wishes?
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jackman?
Yes.
Councilman Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Boyd?
Yes.
Councilman Eads.
No.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Resolution 128-26 will stay.
Oh, okay, yes.
So on to roundtable. John?
I have nothing.
Tommy?
First thing that kind of popped up was I was gonna see how much of the 300,000 of the storm sewers was needed for the Ward 3 project. Do we know how much we need exactly for?
I do not, I don't have the outstanding invoices or anything.
I'll send you an email. Thank you, though. Other than that, thank you much, Chief, for looking into, hey, making that police station great symbol for the city and, you know, something for us to be proud of people going to and having you help them. So, that's all.
Proud to go to. No.
You go for different reasons.
Yeah. Andy?
I have nothing. The next service committee meeting is the 14th at 5 o'clock in the meeting room next door.
Rich?
I'd like to thank all of our city workers. Jobs well done. Spring is here, 10:45 in the morning. It'll be spring, thank God. Been a winter from hell, so I'm glad it's over with. The city did a great job snow plowing, taking care of the roads and everything. Commend you, Bill. Great job. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm going to ask everybody to stand because I'm going to request a moment of silence for for all of them. Well, we lost 2 members this past week over Iran. One young man was from Columbus, the other young man was from Wilmington, and we have our flags at half-staff for them right now. But I'd like everybody to stand and let's take a moment of silence, not only for them, but for all 13 that we've lost so far in this war. Thank you, and God bless America.
Lisa?
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Greg?
So, gentlemen and lady, I had a reason to get onto the Worthington website, and I was looking through some of their legislation and what they do. And the reason why that was brought to my attention, someone told me that they were currently in the midst of their comprehensive plan update. So I went through and looked at some of their comprehensive plan things. And it's obviously they paid a lot more money. They're a lot bigger city. They're trying to do more things. They have, a lot more commercial area than what we do. But it was a little bit striking on the differences from maybe what ours said and what theirs said. Even if the scale's different, it was kind of like, wow, we haven't considered anything like that. And I think they do have a commission of their own that's looking at the final part. They had a steering committee and they went through a lot more and had a lot more community representation than what I think we did. So, this is why I'd really like OHM to come here and be able to explain these things to us. That's why I brought that up. I hope that we get an invitation to them so that we know that they're going to make a meeting, because I, for one, will not vote to pass this comprehensive plan unless they've shown up. So that would be my personal thought. I'd also like to invite our auditor, Ms. Combs. There was the audit, the state audit was released. We have not had that discussion in these chambers. We normally do that. So I was just trying to, with the email between you and our president, was really me just trying to be polite and say, hey, we'd like this to happen at some point on your schedule. So maybe we can have that in a future meeting. And then when we talked about storm sewer, I'd had a discussion with Mr. Saltzman a couple weeks ago about the storm sewer and the fact that we have our own camera. And I was part of that, and Bill was in that discussion, why we bought a camera. And, at some point, we're probably not going to have employees, we're going to have to get rid of employees that are in the sanitation department. Maybe there's a way to use that manpower in the street department. Maybe there's a way to be able to assign a couple people just to camera all of our storm sewers so that we really know what's in there, because I don't know how much has been done. I'm not going to put Mr. Long on the spot and tell me how much has been done. I know they use it for troubleshooting, but I think it'd be a really good idea if we have the camera and if you have the manpower to do it, to go find all of your storm sewers, look through all of them and find problems maybe before they've actually become an issue. And that would be a good thing to do. So, but that'll be up to the department heads whether or not, those employees can work out in their department. So I'm not trying to force the issue, but we might have some people that we could use. And I just wanted to bring that up. So otherwise, thank you, Chief, for all that you've done. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight.
Okay, could we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Show me a picture of that one you showed about the development.
About the,
You have it on here?
gotcha.
You see where they're cutting the trees down over there? See, they're going to extend it, so that eventually goes all the way over to 142. They won't, he's got stuff that wants to come in, but they won't come into the road. So that's where the hotel bit's coming on, and then that's where the bank's interested too.
Yeah, I mean, he wants a Dick's Sporting Goods and Best Buy over there.
What's that?
He wants a Dick's Sporting Goods and Best
I
Buy.
know, I know.
I wouldn't mind him, but we got to plan it right. So, I mean, for something of this size, I mean, yeah, I was looking at this, and yeah, that's the size of the courthouse. And so, at planning committee, it was, well, we might want to leave this open for options, and I didn't move to London for that to be an option. I'm sorry, but we move here for the fields, not something 6 stories tall that even if it's 200 feet back off the road, you're still not gonna see anything behind it. And so, the rest of it, yeah, it's the same thing like this one, need utilities. That's the biggest thing. If we're
I
going
might
to.
have to get it, but it's too hard to read the small stuff.
I'll ask Ken, and I'll help you even get I got another notebook and I can hole punch yours too.
Okay.
Because that's all I did. I asked her to print one off and then I hole punched it and stuck her in a old notebook bag. Because yeah, and
What else did you show her?
I'll just say for everybody else, if you are looking through the comp plan, I'll tell you, but it's pretty much where you see my notes.
That all is one, all this is from this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, you can see that
This is
it's
how much
just
there is?
within here. There are only about 40 pages, you guys. About 40 pages to really look over out of this 200. Like, I'll give you that as my thought. And it's that.
I'm on chapter 5.
Well, see, the whole front
I think
part,
there's 6 in
it
there.
takes a long time, but it's that last segment, plan framework, the 72 to page 140, that's your main beat, right there. And that's why that one I went through and made all my kind of page comments on it, that way I can find it. But like, that's where the signage is, that's where the wayfinding. Oh, and I like the even idea on the red sign with the white lettering, and kind of, hey, Merrimack Park this way, or
Yeah,
this
that was
and
kind of nice, I thought, too.
And so, yeah.
I thought there was a lot of
But those main 40
nice
pages,
plans coming up.
if you guys come, yeah, it does. And so, I mean,
It's take a long time to accomplish all
you
that.
have to have somebody bring it up, because I mean, right now, it leaves it up to all. He's the only person who brings kind of studying for one person, especially when you're back checking. Also, it's just putting a lot on that.
The reasoning for the community center is because kids are having to practice.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
running out of places to practice, and having to practice really late.
But once again, that's the big part of that. Kind of really bring it up next time I'm going.
Hey, I'm picking on you now. I'm not sure your social media post about a comment made about, God forbid, employees have to pay attention and interns. We do. Are you under the impression we don't, or employees don't? Yeah, no. Yeah, because employees pay their portion. No, insurance is bound by contracts. It's 85% paid by the city, 15% is paid by the employee, just like most businesses. And pension is set by statute. We don't pay the employee's portion, we pay the city's portion. So I think the teacher's retirement is similar. You pay a portion out of your check and the teacher or the school pays their portion. So I just wanted, I didn't want rumors flying on social media or inaccurate information being shared, because that makes me look like I'm not paying stuff properly, or employees are getting away with, and they're set by contracting statute. So I don't want those rumors or
No, you're fine. 'Cause I
information
took
that's
that as
inaccurate
saying
out
that
there.
it Came from the different budget lines that was.
That's
something
the
set
city's
aside
share.
for
No, that's the
what's
city's share.
that. Okay, so
Employees
that
pay
is
theirs directly out of their paychecks.
still comes out different. So the
Yeah.
ones that are budget are still kind of the city's portion.
It is all the city's portion, because we don't pay the employee's portion. It's bound, contract in statute. So, thank you. I just want to, I don't want somebody to be like, oh my God, they're not doing it legally, because that's on me. And it is audited annually, and I am very, very particular about pensions and insurance, and my spreadsheets are very to the,
And I'm glad you are. I'm glad you are particular.
I know, yeah, so that's why I was like, they're like, wait, you guys don't pay pension? I was like, what? I was like, yes, we do. So
It's that, okay, yeah.
it's hard when, there's a comment on social media and then somebody questions me, and I'm like, okay, I gotta set,
And if there was
I gotta
anything
set
else
it straight,
on there
because
that I didn't see that.
I don't see it all, so it just depends what people share with me, because I don't stay on this.
To me, the way things
People
change,
complain too much, and that's just not my
the way
cup of
things
tea.
change all the
So,
time, you have a tough job.
yeah, so I
People
just,
don't realize.
I just didn't want somebody to be like, oh my God, they're not legally
All
paying
something has
pension
to
and
do is-
insurance. And I'm like, yes, we are.
Get your name on the computer.
Revise that, because that was one that, I wanted to.
Yeah, obviously,
check
the
with.
city's
Hey,
budget, we don't budget for the employees' portion, because we don't pay it. Like, employees pay it directly out of their paychecks. So, I assume that's how teachers work too, right? Like, your portion comes out of your check?
The entire insurance is ours. There's nothing covered.
It's 100% employee paid? Your health insurance premiums? No way.
I
Really?
love teaching.
That's astronomical, because we pay, I mean, the
Oh, you
city's
don't see as
portion
much
is
of that
crazy.
thing, because then 14% is coming straight out of retirement.
Well, yeah, 10% comes out of all city employees, it goes to pension, and then the city pays 14%. So, and those are set by statute, so that can't be changed.
Yep.
Did you get this from the secretary?
From this wonderful lady, is where I got that thing.
I wouldn't have a dollar for share of a loan or a bond.
If there's one comment I knew